You have big dreams, so why do you keep procrastinating? You know what you want, yet every time you try to start you stall. What if the real problem isn't laziness, but something far deeper? Let's be honest. You're ambitious, you dream big. You crave success, fulfillment, freedom. But when it's time to act, you hesitate. You delay. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, next month, and suddenly years have passed. Why does this happen? Why do some of the most intelligent, capable people struggle to take action? Carl Jung believed laziness isn't always what it seems. Sometimes it's the mask for something much deeper, hidden fears, inner conflict, or even self-sabotage. If you've ever felt like you were meant for more but can't seem to break out of inertia, maybe your problem isn't laziness. Maybe it's something far more powerful working beneath the surface. Laziness often disguises itself as comfort. You say, I'm just resting. I'll do it later. But later never comes. Why? Because your mind has tricked you into believing that action is a threat. Jung described it as a battle between the conscious and unconscious mind. Consciously, you want success, you crave achievement. But deep inside, your unconscious mind resists. It sees change as danger. It whispers, what if you fail? What if people judge you? What if you're not as good as you think? So you freeze. You delay. You scroll through social media. Watch one more YouTube video. Tell yourself you need to research more, and another day disappears. But Jung warned, if you don't face what's blocking you, you'll never move forward. Most people assume laziness means you're unmotivated. But that's not true. You are motivated. You dream of success. You envision the life you want. But when it's time to act, something holds you back. Jung believed this paralysis comes from an internal conflict. Your conscious mind wants success, but your unconscious fears it, and fear creates resistance. But where does that fear come from? Fear isn't just random emotion that shows up when you try something new. It's deeply rooted in your brain, shaped by past experiences, cultural conditioning, and evolutionary instincts. Jung believed much of our fear is housed in the unconscious mind, quietly steering us without us realizing. Think about it. Why do we fear failure? Why do we procrastinate? Why do we hesitate to take risks even when we know they could change our lives? It all comes back to one thing: survival. Thousands of years ago, fear was what kept our ancestors alive. If they took the wrong risk, went into the wrong territory, confronted the wrong enemy, ate the wrong food, it could mean death. The human brain evolved to prioritize safety over action. We learned that your brain prioritizes safety over action. And now you'll see how that instinct shows up in your modern life. You're not running from lions anymore, but you are running from rejection. You're not fighting for survival, but you are afraid to fail. You're not facing wild animals, but you do fear judgment, embarrassment, and the unknown. Here's the twist: your brain treats these emotional threats as if they were life or death. It convinces you to stay in your comfort zone because discomfort feels dangerous. But in reality, avoiding discomfort is the true danger. Worse still, fear doesn't always shout. It whispers. It doesn't say, I'm scared. It says, I'm too tired today. I'll start when I have more time. I'm not ready yet. These thoughts sound logical, but they're fear in disguise. And if you don't recognize it, fear will keep you stuck for years. Let's break down the 3 most common faces of fear. 1. Fear of failure. Deep down, you might believe, if I never try, I'll never fail. It feels safer to stay still than risk embarrassment or disappointment. So instead of taking action, you fill your time with easy distractions: scrolling, binge watching, overthinking. The fix: reframe failure. Failure isn't proof you're not good enough, it's feedback. Every failed attempt teaches you, and every lesson gets you closer to your goal. 2. Fear of success. Sounds strange, right? But some people fear what happens if they actually succeed. Because success brings change, responsibility, uncertainty. Your mind whispers, what if I can't handle it? What if others expect more from me? What if I lose who I am? Now, The solution, redefine success. It's not about pressure. It's about progress step by step, not perfection overnight. 3. Perfectionism, the enemy of action. Jung noted that people who struggle with laziness often battle perfectionism. They don't want to begin unless success is guaranteed. But perfection is a lie. Nobody is perfect. And waiting until you feel ready is just another form of procrastination. The cure, lower the bar. Don't aim to do everything. Just take one small step today. Allow yourself to be imperfect and you'll build momentum. So, how do you escape fear's trap? The key, expose the lie. Next time you hesitate, pause and ask, am I truly incapable or just scared? What's the worst that could realistically happen if I don't act now? Where will I be 5 years from today? Now that you've seen how fear holds you back, the next step is clear. How do you actually break free and take real action? Here's the truth. The more you confront your fears, the weaker they become. Fear thrives in stillness. But the moment you step forward even just a little, you strip it of its power. Right now, you might be thinking, okay, I get why I'm stuck. But how do I move forward? Let's get into practical solutions that shift your mindset and push you toward action. 1. Start ridiculously small. Most people fail because they aim too high, too soon. They say, I'll work out 2 hours every day, or I'll write a whole book this month. But once the motivation fades, they give up. Instead, trick your brain. Make the first step so small it's impossible to fail. Want to get fit? Do 1 push-up. Want to read more? Read 1 sentence. Why? Because your brain craves completion. Once you start, you'll naturally want to keep going. 2. Build an identity, not just a goal. Carl Jung believed we are shaped by the stories we tell ourselves. If you see yourself as lazy, your brain will seek proof to confirm it. Change your narrative. Instead of saying, I want to be productive, say, I'm the kind of person who takes action. Every small act, like waking up 5 minutes early, proves that you're disciplined. Over time, that identity creates momentum. 3. Eliminate the thinking trap. Laziness isn't just inaction, it's overthinking without movement. You plan, you analyze, you research but never move. Here's a rule: action first, motivation second. Most people wait to feel inspired before they begin, but motivation doesn't come first. Movement creates it. Even if you don't feel like doing anything, commit to just 2 minutes. Once you start, you'll want to keep going. That's how momentum builds. By now, you may already feel a shift happening inside you. You understand what's holding you back. You know the first steps to escape the cycle. But there's one final question. Why do so many people stay stuck, even when they know exactly what to do? What's the ultimate key to unlocking your full potential? You learn that action, no matter how small, is the first break in the cycle. Now it's time to face a deeper truth. True growth means learning to live with discomfort. Real transformation only begins when you step into the unknown. If you only do what's comfortable, you'll stay exactly where you are. Laziness isn't just about avoiding work. It's about avoiding discomfort. You delay action not because you're incapable, but because deep down you fear failure, fear rejection, or fear being judged. But success doesn't come from avoiding these things. It comes from moving through them. The moment you train yourself to lean into discomfort, to act even when you're afraid, you begin to separate yourself from the crowd. Because here's the truth, most people will never do this. 2. Build a system, not just a goal. One major reason ambitious people stay stuck is because they rely too much on feelings. They wait to feel like working, studying, or improving. But high achievers don't wait for motivation, they build systems that guarantee action. For example, don't just say, I'll write more. Commit to writing 100 words every morning before touching your phone. Don't say, I'll work out. Schedule 20 minutes daily at a fixed time. Don't say, I'll network more. Set a rule. Message 1 new person every day. Systems eliminate decision fatigue. They make progress automatic. So even when motivation dips, you keep going. 3. Shift from consumption to creation. If you're ambitious but stuck, chances. Are you consuming too much? Books, videos, podcasts? Learning is good, but only execution creates change. Carl Jung emphasized that knowledge must be integrated into lived experience. Knowing something intellectually isn't enough, you have to live it. So, here's a challenge: for every 1 hour of learning, spend 2 hours applying. Read about discipline, practice it today. Watch a video about business, take one small step toward launching. Learn about confidence, try it out in a real conversation. Because knowledge without action equals wasted potential. Let's be honest, deep down you already know what you need to do. You've just been waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect energy, the perfect mindset. But that moment, it never comes. Successful people don't act when they're ready. They act even when they're not. So, what will you choose? Keep waiting, making excuses, watching more videos and stay stuck? Or take even the smallest step forward today? The power is in your hands. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below and share your biggest takeaway. And if you're serious about growth, subscribe now for more life-changing insights. You now understand that change starts with small action. And at this moment, you're standing at a powerful crossroads. Keep waiting or take a step. Remember, true transformation happens when you step into discomfort. If you only do what's comfortable, you'll stay exactly where you are. Laziness isn't just about avoiding work, it's about avoiding the emotions tied to risk. You're not stuck because you're incapable. You're stuck because deep down, you fear failure, fear rejection, fear being seen. But success doesn't come from avoidance, it comes from courage to move forward anyway. When you train yourself to act despite fear, despite uncertainty, you rise above the masses. Most people will never do this. And that's exactly why so few achieve what they dream of. Action doesn't come from motivation. It comes from systems. Stop waiting to feel ready. Build a schedule. Automate the process. The more your actions become routine, the less you'll need willpower. Learning is nothing without application. You can read 100 books, listen to 1,000 podcasts, but if you don't act, nothing changes. Knowledge without action is just wasted potential. The truth is, you already know what to do. You've just been waiting for the perfect moment, the right energy, ideal conditions. But here's the hard truth: that moment will never come. Successful people don't wait to feel ready. They act even when they're not. So today, you have a choice: keep waiting, keep watching, keep avoiding, or take one small, imperfect step forward. The power is in your hands. If this video spoke to something deep inside you, drop a comment below. I choose to act. Just that. One line, a quiet commitment to yourself. And if you're serious about growth, subscribe now so you don't miss future videos about psychology, self-discipline, mindset, and deep personal change.